There are three different on-screen calculators you can use within the Aztec software: the basic calculator, the scientific calculator, and the graphing calculator. Any one or more of them may display on the screen, depending upon the level of math or science lesson you are studying. This video will focus on using the on-screen basic calculator, which operates differently than a handheld calculator would. I've opened the Aztec software and started a math lesson. Notice here in the top left corner, there are three icons for calculators. If you hover your mouse over the buttons, you'll see there's a scientific calculator, a basic calculator, and a TI-30XS calculator. This video again is going to focus on the basic calculator. Click on the calculator to reveal the keypad. Let's compare the on-screen calculator keypad with a handheld calculator keypad. Notice the number keys and operator keys in the on-screen version are upside down compared to the handheld version. The 0, decimal, and equals button are on the top of the screen, but those keys are at the bottom of the handheld calculator. The on-screen calculator has no need for an on-off button and also has no clear button. The clear buttons on the handheld calculator are the C or CE buttons. Both calculators have memory functions. The handheld version has 3 memory buttons. The on-screen version has 4 memory operators. Lastly, the handheld calculator shown here has a percentage button that our on-screen calculator does not feature. I'll demonstrate how to perform some basic calculations. First, click on the calculator to reveal the keypad. Then, type the equation you'd like to calculate. For example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. You do not need to clear the previous calculation to continue. 10 minus 6 equals 4. I'll do a division question now. 32 divided by, use the slash for division. 32 divided by 8 equals 4. For multiplication, you'll use the star or asterisk. 6 times 7 equals 42. Anytime you close the calculator, it resets back to 0. Closing the calculator is the same as hitting a clear button on a handheld calculator. It can seem confusing if the last digit of your equation is also your answer. For example, 10 minus 5 equals 5. It doesn't appear that anything happened here, but the calculator did calculate correctly. Another example, 8 minus 4 equals 4. It doesn't appear that anything happened, but the calculator did calculate correctly. You may be thinking that you forgot to press the equal sign. If you press it a second time, notice it subtracts another 4, making your answer 0. If you're unsure, remember you can check your work. Work the equation backwards. 5 plus 5 does equal 10. 4 plus 4 does equal 8. I'll discuss the memory function keys now. In the example shown here, I have 3 columns of numbers. Let's imagine that we'd like to subtotal each column. Add column 1, then add column 2, and then add column 3. So we know how much each column individually adds up to. Then we want a grand total of all of the columns together. We could calculate that simply. First column, 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 14 plus 23 plus 8 equals 66. I've made a note of the answer for column 1. I could continue in the same way for column 2 and column 3. My answers would be 43 and 47. Now I can take my three totals and add them together. 66 plus 43 plus 47. My grand total is 156. Of course, calculating our answer in this manner was not incorrect. First, we added column 1. Then we had to close and reopen our calculator. Then we added column 2, had to close and reopen our calculator, added column 3, closed and reopened our calculator, and added our three subtotals together to arrive at our grand total of 156. By using the memory keys, we can perform this calculation in one series of steps without having to close and reopen our calculator. Let's review the memory buttons. MC stands for Memory Clear. MR is Memory Recall. MS is Memory Store. And M+ is Memory Add. Demonstrating this same example using the memory keys, I'll begin by adding the first column of digits together. 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 14 plus 23 plus 8 equals 66. We want the calculator to hold on to 66 until we're ready to use it later. To do that, we'll hit MS, which will store the value in the memory. Do not close your calculator at this point. If you close your calculator, that will do an all clear function, and that will actually erase your memory, and the 66 would be lost. Instead, continue on. Now add the second column together. The calculator will treat it like a new calculation. 12 plus 3 plus 7 plus 13 plus 5 plus 3 equals 43. We want to add the 43 into the memory to hold on to that number for us and add it to the 66. If we hit MS, that will store 43 in memory, but will overwrite the 66, and the 66 will be lost. Rather, we want to hit the M+ button. That will add the 43 to the number that's already in memory, the 66. Just like before, rather than close the calculator, we'll continue with our calculations and add the third column together. 17 plus 1 plus 6 plus 11 plus 8 plus 4 equals 47. We want to add that subtotal into our memory as well. So we'll hit M+ to add it to the 66 and 43. Now that all three subtotals have been found and added into memory, we can click MR, or recall the value from memory. Think of recalling as remembering. When we hit MR, we'll see the grand total of all the figures in memory, which is 156. If you make a mistake at any time while using the memory keys, pressing MC, or Memory Clear, will empty the memory, and you can begin your calculation again. As a brief review, first you'll click MS to begin storing figures in memory. Then you'll click M+ to add any additional figures that you'd like to the memory total. Finally, you'll click MR to recall the total value of the memory. If you make a mistake at any point during your memory calculations, remember that MC will clear your memory and you could restart your calculation. As a reminder, if you close your calculator, your memory is also cleared and you'll need to restart your calculation. That's our brief overview on how to use the basic calculator in Aztec software. Stay tuned for the next video where I'll tell you how to use the scientific calculator. If you're having trouble using Aztec, or if you have questions about Attain, please reach out to a lab manager. We'd be happy to help you. Go to our website at www.alb.sunyattain.org and click on the Contact Us link at the top of the page. You'll be able to send an email message to our lab managers, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. Visit the website shown here or call the numbers on the screen to learn more about the Capital District Educational Opportunities Center Attain Computer Labs.